get up out of here.
Right.
They're heathen.
Mm-hmm.
They're heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
We go and find us a new land where we can worship our God in peace or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it said, what did it say about this land?
That they might there keep their statutes, which they have never kept in their own land.
Right, and that was a land that never what? Mankind what?
They had never dwelt. Where mankind had never dwelt. So this was a space that no one had ever conquered.
There was a Star Trek movie, brother. So I'm a scientific buff, sci-fi buff and everything. There was a movie in Star Trek called The Undiscovered Country. Mm-hmm. At this particular time, there was an undiscovered land, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we're bringing this out, brothers and sisters. Right there. Go ahead, Papa. You started. You read it, verse 42.
That they might there keep their statutes,
uh-huh.
which they never kept in their own land.
See that?
And we really need to pause there because that deals with the history of the separation in the first place.
Uh-huh.
They were separated, and that takes us back to biblical prophecy where they see up under Rehoboam,
uh-huh.
where they were in their land.
Well, we can go right back. Let's go right back.
I mean, it's not back to it. It supports it.
It supports
it. The fact that they weren't keeping the laws and statutes. They were not. This supports the fact that they were not. They had fallen off. They had mixed with other gods and so on and so forth. And then they ended up being scattered because the Most High scattered them anyway. They will be lost. They were lost because they didn't follow the laws and the statutes.
But right in verse 40, Prophet, you're telling me now, at this time, right in their own land, wasn't all the tribes all together?
The 10.
It was 10 up top, and then the other 3 at the bottom, right? Judah and Benjamin.
Uh-huh.
Christ hadn't came yet.
No.
They were still all together in our land, right?
Mm-hmm.
But something happened. Assyria, the king of who?
King Samalmasar,
uh-huh.
the king of Assyria. He led them away captive. He captured them. They became prisoners. They were carried away prisoners. They were taken away. And so that really still takes us back even to Deuteronomy. Because how did they get there?
Mm-hmm. And
he carried them over the water. How do you carry over waters? Except by ship.
Except by ship. Brothers, hear this out now. Wait a minute now. They didn't walk over. How did they get carried?
Carried them over the waters. They don't mention ships, but we know that they didn't walk over there.
We know
the only way to get carried over is by ship.
10 tribes got taken captive by Assyria over waters by ship.
Mm-hmm. And the other 2 did as well from Africa.
All of them went in ships.
That's right. And so it covers all of them. He was speaking to all of them. Were taken away captive.
Let's go to Deuteronomy 20. I just want to hear. I want to see this one thing. Deuteronomy 28, and this is what we're talking about prophecy. Okay, this is what we're talking about prophecy. Read verse 68, Prophetess. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second.
Oh, my.
All right. 68.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. And the Lord will take you back to Egypt. Egypt, we understand it means bondage.
Bondage.
In ships.
And ships.
By the way of which I said to you, you will never see it again.
I will never see my homeland again.
Mm-hmm. And there you shall be offered for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you.
But no one will redeem you. No one but Yeshua, Shiloh can redeem us. That's it. So that's prophecy right there, brothers and sisters. The 10 tribes first, they got taken away in ships. Yeah. They didn't come back to Israel. That's it.
They didn't get to come back.
They left in 721 BC. Mm-hmm. Only one that was hanging on was Judah, Benjamin, and a remnant of Levi was still up under there. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So let's go right back to the Apostle. Go right back.
Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. In verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. Verse 43, and they entered into Euphrates.
We know that's a huge river. By
the narrow places of the river. That's a very unique distinction And as we stated, this is how as you looked it up when we talked about Christopher Columbus, he understood, he read the Apocrypha, so he knew where they were going. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
So things was going on. Things was going on, and the Most High protected them on this journey. Remember, they got to fulfill prophecy. Okay?
Their desire of their heart was that they can get into a place where they could finally turn back to the word of the Most High and to keep his laws and his statutes. And so he made refuge for them.
Okay.
For verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely for a year and a half.
Wow, so it took a while.
And the same region is called Issachar.
So what I want to do, I want to put up the dictionary. Let's find out where we can get some relation to this word Issachar. Okay? Let's find out where we can get any kind of relation to this word Issachar. The Apocrypha called it Issachar, right? And this is supposed to be a land where no man had dwelt before. So if that's the case, if the 10 tribes went over there first, weren't they the first owners, the first people in that land?
Should be.
Shouldn't they be?
Yeah.
Haven't the Indians said that we were here first?
Oh, yeah. They were. Not in that Jewish thing.
Okay, let's see if we can put it up in that dictionary off the internet. So that word, Issachar, Arsareth. This is what the Apocrypha said. That's where they went to. All right? We know that Christopher Columbus used geographical maps. He had a compass. He had people with him, helping him to traverse the waters to find the new land, so-called America. Okay? Right?
All right. All right. So Issachar, when we're looking in the Bible study tool, .com, and it reads Issachar. This is the land to which the 10 tribes were deported.
Right.
According to 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 45. It is described as another land, lying a year and a half journey beyond the river Euphrates. It probably answers to the Hebrew Eret in Josephus' time. The people were still believed to be there in countless numbers. And so it's interesting that they pull out Josephus because we know that Josephus recorded for Christopher Columbus. Is that correct?
Yeah, he recorded a lot of important history.
Yeah, Josephus was a reporter.
Right.
Or a scribe, so to speak, but he not a scribe, in the, I guess, religious sense.
I would call him a super Anderson Cooper.
Right. And so he would be the ancient and the equivalent of Anderson Cooper. But he on mainstream things that were done, they needed to record because they didn't have the internet, like we do to keep people abreast. People still wanted to know things that were going on, so they would take a scribe and he would just take dictation of who said what and what was going on. And so Josephus recorded this. And he was, we know that he was accounted as one of the members of the ship in the travels of Christopher Columbus. Okay.
So keep reading, Prophet. We're going to keep reading.
What are we reading here? Yeah. Back to the Apocrypha?
Yeah, back to the Apocrypha.
Okay, verse 46.
Read verse 44. Start at verse 44.
Okay, and again, we're in 2nd Ezra of the Apocrypha, chapter 13, and we're going to begin at 44. For the Most High then showed signs for them. Remember now, with the 12 tribes, every one of our brothers and sisters were blessed with a gift. All right? We had Issachar that can read stars. All right? Issachar can read stars. All right? That's where you get your Mayan temples over here now. Them Issacharites. All right? We had Gad that did smoke signals. They had something going on with the moon and stuff like that too. They were very tuned with the spirit world, whatever. Gad, the Gadites. Gad and Issachar was on this boat. All right, Levi was on this boat. All right, a lot of people was on this boat. Right. Well, all 10 tribes were on this boat.
All 10 tribes was on
You can account for every of the 10 because Benjamin and Judah and some of the Levites were left behind they weren't not left behind. They were in the southern kingdom. So all the northern kingdom tribes can be accounted as being with each other here.
With each other here. So keep reading, sister. Read 45.
Mm-hmm. For through that country there was a great way to go.
So through that country there was a great way to go. We know it took a year and a half.
A year and a half.
So let's think about it now. Let's slow it down. Let's think about this. Even when we're traveling in a car, what do we do?
What do you mean?
As a family. Let's say we're a family. We're going from Michigan to Texas. What are we going to do in the car? We're going to pull to the side of the road. We're going to get out. We're going to go eat somewhere. We're going to go sleep somewhere. Mm-hmm. So along the way, there is remnants of that people having some kind of activity with the land or the environment at some point in time.
That's true. We can't just assume that they went a year and a half or that they even had a year and a half worth of supplies. Because they were trying to make an escape in the first place, that would let you know that they didn't have time to store up. And most times, normally when he moves you out of somewhere, you don't have time to store up. He's the one that cares for you. So you're absolutely right, Elder. They had to stop at different points in time. Therefore, when we look around in history and they're finding artifacts here and there and everywhere, this can help to account for why those artifacts are there.
Exactly. So over a year and a half, the 10 tribes on their journey to Azarah, they stopped here and there. Yeah. There should be some remnants of the people in different parts along that journey.
Right. The Euphrates.
Euphrates. So keep reading, Prophet.
Verse 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the Most High shall stay the springs of the stream again. So basically, he's holding the water back, because it reached high height to the point where it would be dangerous for them. So the Most High shall stay the springs of the stream again, like he did the first time, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. So they had a peaceful travel. And that's just like him. They had already turned their hearts back to the Most High. That's why he was helping them. They had already determined this is what we're going to do. We're leaving here. We're going to keep those statutes. We're going to do it. And so he began to put stretch out his mighty hand. My babies are coming back, and I will help them to do that. Verse 48. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders.
See, they're within my borders. Brothers and sisters, we know, and we have to bring out the works of Josephus. You'll bring that out for. You can read in the works of Josephus about Christopher Columbus' journey to find a new land. He didn't find it the first time. He came many times trying to look for it. But he used this book to find where the people were. He was looking for a new land, like you said, but he was looking for the people.
He was looking for them.
The richness is with the people, not with the land.
And they understood this. That's why it was hidden. That's the reason for us it being so long for us to finally figure out who we are, because of these types of journeys, because we were pulled away from our heritage. And so what happens? People keep living and having babies and moving on and moving forward. That's what really Roots was all about, but it was a segmented part as well. They tried to show how they kept their history. But most of us, we didn't keep history like that because we didn't know. We were made, and it was purposely, we were purposely separated from our history.
Prophetess. There's more. You see more there in that apocryphal?
Well, 48, did we read that? But those that, so verse 48 of 2nd Ezra chapter 13, but those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. And 49 says, now when he destroys the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain.
Okay. So that's going more to where Christ is going to come back. Christ is going to come back. He's going to gather his nations back together. But it's going to be people that's going to hurt us. He's going to destroy them.
Yeah.
He's not playing. Okay. Wonderful prophets. I think we got a good understanding right there just with that, with the Apocrypha. And because the Bible itself doesn't tell you about the journey over the river Euphrates to find this new land, which is Azarah, and we interpret that to be now America.
Right. That was another thing we needed to bring out. They didn't bring that necessarily out in that Bible definition, but we recognize that as America, or to be America today, because that's where they travel.
Exactly where they travel.
And that's where he found it.
And